Hello, I'm Jana Linehauser. I'm with the Manatee Chamber of Commerce, and I welcome you to the Big Bank Theory. This program is brought to you thanks to the partnership with Suncoast Credit Union and our supporting sponsors, Iberia Bank, and also Raymond James Financial Wealth Management with Bruce Body and Associates. Today's program is designed to give students a glimpse into what it's like to be a 25-year-old adult. They must rotate between 13 stations and pay those bills that adults must pay every single month. We're thankful we have the support of many business volunteers that man our stations and help counsel the kids on some of the spending decisions that they need to make. The goal of this program at the end of the activity is to either have money in savings or in retirement or a little bit left in their checking account. And as you'll see today, the students truly learn a lot from the program. They learn about the finances that they're responsible for. They learn that their parents often have to make some sacrifices for them, but they also learn how important it is to budget their money. The students enjoy the program. I think they have a lot of fun with it, and I've always felt that, students that are having fun are learning and retaining the information. They're going to remember this years to come, but they are also learning how important, and they are taking it seriously. Some of them have come up with unique situations, unique decisions that they're making, and it's really been a very important part of their economics program that they must take every year. The students rotate between 13 stations. Most of the stations are required. They represent those areas such as housing, transportation, food, clothing. We even have a Just for Fun station. They must have fun throughout the month. We also have a That's Life station. Those are those unexpected expenses that tend to pop up, but it could also be an unexpected surplus, and they may actually get money at that station. During the instruction of the program to the students, they are advised of the stations that they must visit that are required. We also let them know what stations are optional based on their life situation. We pretty much let them start at any station because most of the stations are required. For example, the utility station, yes, you must have some type of housing before you get your electricity and your water, but they can also purchase a cell phone at that station. So they may have to come back to that station once they have obtained their housing, but they still can purchase things even if it's their very first station. Each student is assigned a random life situation, and that can range anywhere from making $17,000 annual income all the way up to $61,000 or $65,000. And it is truly random, and the reason we make this random is that we know in today's economy anything can happen. They could be someone with a master's degree who loses their job tomorrow, and they have to make ends meet and support their family. So we're teaching them to live within their means, but to handle whatever situation that they have. Now, we do have opportunities. Let's say, for instance, their educational level was a high school dropout. We have a station that is our back to school station, and that station allows them to make choices in their education more than what they've already gotten. And we do encourage those students that have pulled the card of the high school dropout to at least go back to school and get a GED. At the back to school station, we also let them know not only is there a monthly fee for tuition, but we also let them know what their potential increase in their income is going to be after they finish school. The Big Bank Theory has been in the public schools here in Manatee County for 4 years. This is our 4th year, and we do get feedback from the students. We give them an evaluation every year. Probably the most interesting feedback we've gotten from them is how it affects their family planning for their future. They realize how expensive children are. They realize they don't want to have kids young without having established themselves in a career. So that's an important part of becoming an adult and making those important decisions. In preparing for today's activity and throughout the month with the Big Bank program, we actually pull statistics from the Department of Labor, and it's local statistics. We're looking at our regional workforce statistics, and we change them yearly, so they're updated yearly. And we're fortunate in that we were able to increase salaries this year, although a lot of times when you increase salaries, some of those expenses increase also. But we definitely base it on real world situations. We also provide this information to the teacher, so not only are they getting some pre-planning, some pre-education before they come in here, we also have follow-up activities that the teachers will do with the students. As I said, you all have been chosen and selected to have a life situation, and I'll go through the card that tells you about your life situation. We tell you your occupation, your yearly income, and then we break that down to a monthly income. We let you know what your education level is. We also let you know your family status, whether you're married or not, and whether you have children or not. Now, if you are married and your spouse works, you get that income added in. So we put all that together. The government takes their taxes out, and then you have what we're calling our starting balance for the month. Remember, you're only working within a 1-month time frame. You only have to worry about getting through this month. Now, over here on the opposite side are those stations that are set up around the room. There are 13 stations. Most of them are required to go to. Okay, it depends on your life situation, and I'll go through those. Now, again, please make sure that you thank these volunteers that are here today. Some of them have been here all day, and they've taken time out of their busy schedule to come and help you all learn a little bit about financial education. So, going through these 13 stations, the ones that are optional that I'm going to highlight real quickly are back to school, the child care station, the credit card station. Now, you all will be given a credit card. If you make a purchase, you have to go to the credit card station, but if you don't use your credit card, you do not have to go to that station. The job station is also an optional station. So going through these, the automotive or transportation station, everyone has to have some type of transportation, and you will be given different options, different decisions that you need to make at that station. The back to school, as I mentioned, is an optional station. Those of you that maybe only have a high school education or even a dropout might want to consider making that back to school station a priority. You can go to our back to school station and get your GED all the way up to a master's degree. Now, is there anyone in here who's a dropout on your form? Okay, so you guys are going to have it tough. You definitely want to go and at least get your GED. Okay, at least get your GED. The rest of you have already completed your initial education. It's up to you and your income as to whether you can go back to school and further your education. Okay, the next one is a child care. How many of you have children? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you have children. If you have children, you must go to the child care station, even if you have a stay-at-home spouse. There is a little bit of money you have to spend that's extra, even with the stay-at-home spouse, okay? If you don't have children, you do not need to go to that station. The clothing station, everybody has clothing. This is that additional set of clothing you need to make that purchase during the month. You can buy clothing for yourself or for all your children. Buying clothing for your spouse is optional, okay? You don't have to buy it for them. The credit card, as I said, you all have a credit card. You can make a purchase at those stations that accept credit cards. Now, if you do not want to use your credit card, then you do not have to go to the credit card station. But if you do make a purchase at with your credit card, you must go to the credit card station because you have to pay a minimum monthly payment. They will also calculate what your interest is and what your outstanding balance is going to be on that credit card. The financial institution, you must visit that. That's a requirement. There you must pay your banking fees. You can also put into savings. You can put away for retirement. Okay, anything else you can think of you want to put away for, definitely do that at the financial institution station. The insurance station is required. If you purchase a home, you must get homeowner's insurance. If you buy a vehicle, you must get car insurance. There are other optional insurance you can get, Everyone must get health insurance. Okay, so you must at least get health insurance at that station. The job station is that optional station, and it is a second job. Some of you might not make enough money. You're going to make it through the month on your basic income, and you need to go back to work. There are other reasons you may want to visit the job station. If you have a non-working spouse, maybe you want to put them to work. But remember, anytime you go and get that second job, whether it's you or your spouse, if you have children, you need to make sure they're covered with child care, extra child care. So you have to think about all of that goes into getting a second job. Just for fun, everyone must have fun, so you have to go to that station and make a purchase. The housing station, that is finding a place to live. It may be an apartment, it may be renting, it may be owning, it may be buying a house. Whatever you decide you can do, just know you must have housing, and you cannot live with your parents. You cannot live in your cars. Okay, you must get some type of housing. You can come up with all different options and ideas in your housing. Sometimes you can split expenses, just depends. If you decide on something other than just you buying a house, come see me, okay? You must get that approved by me. Supermart, that's your groceries. You can buy name brand or generic. You can also buy options such as getting your hair cut, getting your nails done. You can get a tattoo. You can get a nose piercing, whatever you want. Those things are available to you at Supermart. And then our That's Life station. Those are those random things that happen that we don't really plan for. It can be a positive or it can be a negative. We've had several people win the lottery, so they were able to put money into their budget. We've also had a lot of people who had plumbing problems. They had to get a toilet fixed. They had to buy a new TV. So we had to take money out of their budget. It all depends on that random draw, and you will draw a card, and that will tell you what you need to do. And the final station, and it is required, is the utility station. At utilities, that's where you get your electricity, your water. You can purchase a cell phone plan or buy a home phone. You can get cable, internet, whatever you see up there, you have the option to purchase, but you must get electricity and water and some type of telephone. That's what's required. All right, any questions on these stations? Now you can start at any station you want to. Just know you may have to go back to that station based on what your life situation is or other spending decisions that you may make. And the reason I say that is you can go to utilities first, even though you don't have your housing, you can still purchase if you want to get the cell phone plan. You can still get your cell phone. And then when you get housing, you can go back to utilities. The other thing I require is if there's more than 4 or 5 people in a line, go to another station, because all of these except for 4 are required. And for most of you, you're going to have to go to every single station.
You only have one child, so look, renting was $750, 2 bath, 1 bath, but
Never really got to have insurance.
I work for Biggs Realty. We're selling housing for the young adults who's coming through, and we are helping them make good choices about what they can afford and what is a better deal versus owning versus renting. Well, for this exercise, we're really more focused on using their money for the month. So I try to help them look at how much money you have and what is a better option. And I do talk about, hey, you can resell this later, but for today's exercise, it's more about what can they afford, and that having insurance plus owning their own home is probably a better option than renting. I think it's very close to reality. You know, as a parent of 2 young men that are in college, they have very limited experience in understanding what the real world is about to hold for them when they graduate. And I love the fact that the Big Bang Theory brings in items such as health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance. These are things that as parents we take care of, but we have limited discussions with our children about these are things you will be required to purchase in order to have a home, a car, or anything of significant value. The takeaway, I think, is you need to really focus on your education right now. They'll notice that more of the job that they have jobs that require post-secondary, and it doesn't mean college necessary. Their income is higher, and that whatever it is they dream or desire to do, they need to go for those dreams and desires. Don't make all your decisions about tangible items, because you will, I don't want kids to think that, all I have to do is go find a job that I'm not really happy at doing if I want a house, if I want a car. First, go after what you dream and what's going to make you happy, and then put the rest of your life in order around those dreams.
They're definitely gravitating more toward home ownership as opposed to rental. At least in this scenario, it does work out a little cheaper for them, and they are seeing the benefits of home ownership. I'd say under the scenario given here, as 25-year-old adults, it may be slightly unrealistic, but it's based on their given life scenario and what they've been given in the random selection. So for some of them, it is very realistic. Absolutely, they do. When they're sitting over here getting instructed, they have no idea what the costs are out here, and so once they start seeing the cost, absolutely, the light bulb goes on, and they realize, they put the correlation together between things in life and income.
Okay, 540, and you don't have a car yet, so I can't sell you car insurance. So your insurance is 540. You will need to come back after you get a car.
I've had a lot of different people and different, kids come up, and usually they leave me to the end, whether they have a lot of money or not. And I think the reason is because not only kids but adults take entertainment for granted. A lot of people think that entertaining themselves or their family is just something that they have to spend money, not thinking that there's many other options. And here in Manatee County, we're very fortunate to have a lot of locations that are very inexpensive, not to say free. We have beautiful beaches. We have Robinson Preserve. Now we have this beautiful river walk, and countless other locations that the kids, families, adults can enjoy. I do ask that they come up, whether they have money or not, and they tell me why it is important to do just for fun, why they think this station is mandatory. It's one of the mandatory stations that they have to do. And most of them, believe it or not, they say, well, we need some recreation. Some of them say we need to really stress. Some of them think that family bonding is important. So I do think they know exactly what it is. Most of them look at the chart and they start going like, I can't afford, and they start looking at it. And I say, well, don't just look at what I have here printed. Also think of those things beyond this that you might want to do. If it's something expensive, you might want to open a savings account and save for it. If it's something that you just want to take your kids for a walk, that might not be expensive at all, and you are still recreating yourself and your family. So that's kind of the way I see it, and I think they take it really well. This to me is a very important exercise for the kids, and I think finances should be a mandatory subject in school. We don't know how important it is until we leave high school and then we go to college or to work, and we have no idea what to do, how to budget, or those things we really take for granted, unfortunately. I never had this opportunity when I was a kid, so when I come here and I see that they have the opportunity to have something like this, it's great. And out of the hundreds of kids that we're serving, if a few are learning something, I think that's great success, in my opinion.
I'm Michael Motherway. I'm in 12th grade, so I'm a senior this year. For this, I was a high school dropout and married with no children, and I only made $17.70 a month. So I started out getting my GED because I wanted to, get the education so I can get more money and stuff. And it started looking good at first, and then the house was one of the big things that got me down because it was $675, so I was a little scared. And then that's when my wife got a job 5 nights a week. So that got me back up. But then it was the insurance that got me down to $4. That's what really scared me at one point. So then I had to get a second job at the grocery store, making $4.80, so it wasn't, too bad. And then I put $10 in the checking, and then I got 10% 401k for $256. And then I put $100 in my savings, and then for fun, I took my wife out to dinner, and I ended out with $98. So I was actually really happy that I was able to have some extra money to do whatever I wanted with, instead of, having that little trouble thing with the $4 that really scared me because I thought I would have to use, credit, and I didn't want to use credit. My TV broke, so I had to pay $25 a month for that because I didn't want to pay, I think it was $400 to just get it fixed because I don't really watch TV. So I was thinking about it like that. I was like, I don't really watch TV. I can just pay, monthly and stuff, get it fixed. It helped me realize that there's more to it than just this bill, and this bill. There's other things you have to pay. Like I realized that insurance is really, really expensive when you're married, or even when you're not married. It's still like really expensive, and that you should wait for kids until after you have your stuff. Even I didn't have any, but I saw some friends that did so, and they were paying like it was $800. So it was like, wow, okay. Even I had to pay $500 with just me and my wife. So it was only $75. It was only $75 because it was the first thing I went to. I was like, man, I need to go to school so I can at least make extra, so I can look for another job. And that's when, it was a farmer equipment mechanic. So, and it was making good money for a high school dropout. So I was like, okay, maybe I can, but I was just like, no, I need my GED because it feels like I feel like I would need it just in case, I can get something better, because most jobs nowadays, you need a GED to even, at least a GED to even get anything. So that's what I thought.
I started out as a farm worker with the monthly income of $971, but I dropped out of school. So I went to go get my GED to help to get more money. I went to got another job for myself to get an extra $640 a month. I got my wife went to go get a job that gave us an extra $720. And at the end of everything, I have $124 in my savings, but I have $891 on my credit card for insurance. It seemed pretty realistic, trying to get through this, trying to think of how much money you needed, what you need to spend. It kind of gives me stress, actually thinking that if it's real or not, it actually can happen.
My name is Laura Roberts. I'm the College and Career Advisor at Bayshore High School. And I'm standing in front of the booth, That's Life, where things happen to us every day. And so our students need to come over here and draw a card. They may draw a card that shows they have a television repair, or something positive like they're receiving a tax refund. So just to show students that in everyday life, good things happen that affect our bank account, and we have to prepare and plan for it. As a college and career advisor here, my biggest message to students that I meet with is to formulate a post-secondary education plan. We have students that want to go straight to university. We have students that want to go to technical school. We are here to discuss all their options. Even if they're looking to go straight into the world of work, we want them to maybe take a look at some type of post-secondary education in the future, so that they can get some education behind them younger, which will help their income as they mature.
I'm Mary Ann Moyer, and I'm a community volunteer, and I've volunteered for this big bank theory for the last 5 years because I think it's so valuable for the kids. Today what I'm doing is offering the kids an opportunity to go back to school. So depending on their current education, they're anything from a high school dropout to some of them have bachelor's degrees in their little scenarios. And what kind of job they currently have. Do you want to continue doing the job you have, or do you want to continue on in something? So this gives them the option to consider going back to school. The first question most of them ask, how much more income am I going to get? Well, you're going to get some more income, but it's going to be delayed gratification. You're not going to get it immediately. So go back to school, get that extra whatever degree it is, and then you'll see more income for yourself. A lot of them are going for a second degree in the same level. In other words, they've already got technical school, but they're doing something that they don't want to keep doing the rest of their lives. And so they've already started thinking in terms, I think I want to do something different. And so what they're doing is going for a different degree, either with the technical school level or at the bachelor's level. Actually, when they first released the kids to come and go to whatever station they wanted, 3 young men came to me immediately. We were dropouts. We don't want to be dropouts. Look at the jobs we've got. We want our GED. The other thing is, it doesn't offer it as an option, but I can personally relate because I dropped out of college when I first started and went through the kids and job and all that stuff, and then I went back to college once I was motivated. So what these kids, we're giving them a chance to be motivated to do something more than what they're doing right now. I think one of the things is that they need to plan ahead. For instance, if they think they want to have little children when they're 20 years old, they need to take into account that's going to mean a bigger apartment or a bigger house. That means they're going to need child care. They're going to need child insurance. Our That's Life example, we tell you, what do you do if your kid gets sick? So children aren't something that should just happen. They're something you should plan for, just like the education stuff. If you want more income, you better plan the education now so that you can have that income later.
I think this program is really good. This exercise is good because it allows us to plan out. We planned out what, how it would be when we're 25 or 30. It just gave us, I was actually a computer system analyst, and my yearly income is $5,600, and I actually saved $655 throughout the month. So I did pretty well. I bought a car, I rented an apartment, got TV, cable. I did pretty well for myself. Yeah, it is, because, this shows us it's not always easy. It shows us if we don't finish school, then we won't have, we won't be able to pay for the things that we want. We won't be able to have entertainment, TV, none of that. So it showed us what's life really like.
Well, what we're finding is that most of the young adults come by after they've gone through some of their expenses for the month, and they figure out that they need to find another way to pay for items. Right, well, we're saying that if they don't have to use the credit card, that it's best that they don't. And, only to use it for emergencies. But some of them have decided, even though they have plenty of money in their checking account, that they want to use it and make a small payment instead of paying it off. If they're questioning what they can do, what some other alternatives are, it might be better to have them take a look at what their expenses were during the month and see if anything can be changed, or if they would need to go back and maybe get a second job. Oh, I just want them to take away, that their education plays a good part in how their future is going to be and what type of funds they're going to have available to get through the month. And also to just use the credit card in the emergency situation.